We can't preempt what's going to take place in Zimbabwe, yes, but here in South Africa, it doesn't seem like the best of days. But to get into the gist of it, I have the Democratic Alliance, Mr. James Selfe, to explain to us what exactly it means that what just happened in terms of, we know that the judge, Mr. Judge Bashir Valley, rather read out the costs and said that we'll get the judgment after. A very good day to you. What does this mean for a person sitting at home that 2 councils will be paid for by the minister for you as well as the other applicants?
Well, the costs are merely follow the result of the outcome of the judgment. So if we win, we ordinarily get costs. The costs in our case involve 2 advocates and an instructing attorney. I should have imagined that that would have added up to about 150,000 rands worth of legal bills. But what's far more important is not whether or not we got costs. What I think South Africans got was justice today. And that was very important because a very serious crime was committed. Mrs. Mugabe tried to hide behind diplomatic immunity. She applied via the Zimbabwean embassy to get diplomatic immunity. The Minister of International Relations at the time illegally and unconstitutionally granted that immunity. And what this court has done is now to set that aside as being unconstitutional. And that's very important because it means that in future, if somebody else comes to this country and tries to do that, there's already case law on our books that says that that is not applicable in South Africa. So I think it was a victory for justice, a victory for the rule of law, because it proves that anybody, however exalted they are, is subject to the same rule of law as anybody else.
And then what's the next step?
Well, the next step should be that the National Prosecuting Authority should now begin with the prosecution of Dr. Mugabe, and that would involve preparing a case, formally charging her, and if she's not prepared to come back to South Africa, then to take the necessary steps to extradite her to come back to South Africa to face trial.
Thank you so much. That was Mr. James Selfe basically giving us an overview of what's next and what just transpired.